Babe of the day. Babe of the day. Bridget Yeager. You don't have to go to Hollywood to find a great actress. If you go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you'll find the attractive, talented Bridget Yeager. She has become quite an accomplished performer in the relatively short period that she has pursued acting full-time. Bridget came across acting honestly. She grew up watching movies of all kinds. Her mom introduced her to black and white classics, while her dad and brother directed her towards more modern action movies. This is where her fascination with acting developed. She acted in high school and college plays, but didn't pursue acting as a career straight away. Bridget was also very shy. In 2015, Bridget came out of her shell and started performing in local community theaters. She also joined an improv comedy group she used to see while in college called the Cellar Dwellers. Before I go any further, I've got to say that the improv thing impresses me with any actor or actress. Anyone who has been in it, who is even remotely good at it, is legitimately talented. For example, anyone you hear about that came from the Second City or Groundlings troops who made it in Hollywood are truly professional. When you're improvising, you have to open yourself up and think on your feet. Bridget really credits her time with the Cellar Dwellers, doing their effin' Friday night shows, for raising her comfort level, enhancing her acting skills, and reducing her shyness. She did this until 2020, even when she was already getting film and TV parts. Bridget's career is really quite varied and interesting. She started pursuing a life in front of the camera in 2016 and started getting work right away. It wasn't always big parts, and they weren't all big movies, but talent talks, even in humble projects. Bridget has never gone that long without acting work. While she has been doing film work, she has never abandoned theater acting. She loves it too much. Bridget has done several community plays over the years. She's even worked at haunted attractions. For her, there is nothing like performing in front of a live audience and hearing their reactions, feeding off their energy. That's not to put down film work. She enjoys that too, but film acting is more subtle than theater acting. To get more acclimated to film acting and filmmaking in general, Bridget did something I think is fiercely interesting. She joined a film group in Pittsburgh called the 48-Hour Film Project. This is actually something that takes place across many cities in the US and in many countries around the world. Each team has 48 hours to write, film, and edit a 5 to 7 minute short film. The teams do not know their genre until the day of the event, when they draw 2 to choose from. They must also include a required character, line of dialogue, and prop. Needless to say, this is a big challenge. It's like improv in the film world. Bridget has been in several of the 48-hour films, and she has enjoyed every experience. They have also helped her blossom as an actress. Bridget believes doing the 48-hour films is the ultimate test for any aspiring actor or actress to see if they really enjoy the experience. You have to be pretty creative and flexible in order to take on something like this. Of course, she has done film work outside of the 48. In 2018, she played an infected victim in the sci-fi horror movie Night Zero. In 2020, she was in the short film Social Media Rehab. These are just a few of her credits. She has also been an extra in some big and small budget film productions, as well as some commercials. Bridget's biggest thing to date is the one that is getting her the most attention and acclaim. In the summer of 2018, she answered a Facebook post for a small budget series of superhero videos called Heroineburgh. The director was looking for a new actress to play the superheroine character of Arctica, Mistress of the Deep Freeze. The original actress could no longer do it. Bridget was not familiar with the series at that time, and by her own admission, is a casual comic book fan. When she met with the director the next day, she found out more about the series and how it was a superhero show set in Pittsburgh. It sounded fun, so she thought she would give it a try. Bridget couldn't have expected what was to come out of it. Spoiler alert, it's been a steady gig. Bridget's first appearance as Arctica was in episode 13. This was also an important episode because it was the first time that most of the heroines were in one room at the same time. After just this one experience, Bridget knew she wanted to continue with the role. I made a video about Heroineburgh some time back. This is a really great starting point if you want to find out more about the video and comic book series. The basic idea of Heroineburgh is that it's a rotating cast of heroine characters. There is no single top heroine, as they all get their spotlight. However, Arctica has become close to being the top character. Bridget is so great in the role and so professional that Arctica gets used a lot. Not only does she appear regularly in the comics, but she has continued in episodes 14, 17, 19, 21, and 22. Arctica is heavily inspired by the Emma Frost White Queen character from Marvel's X-Men comics, at least in appearance in the icy superpowers. After that, Arctica is her own person. Unlike White Queen, Arctica is purely a heroine and has never been a villainess. Heroineburgh is a purposely different type of show, but very, very clever. It's a throwback to the look and feel of the 1980 superhero comics, although it's set in present day. It's not a huge budget production, but as the series continues, it definitely improves in its camera work and effects. They have a lot of fun working with what they've got, and they're improving all the time. This isn't necessarily for kids, and it's certainly more ideal for late teens and adults. Bridget decided to bring something to her portrayal of Arctica that really suited Heroineburgh. Flashing back to the old black and white movie she watched with her mom, Bridget intentionally made Arctica act like the old-time, super confident heroes and heroines she saw on screen. Her Arctica always speaks in a heroic tone, and she always has strong, confident body language. Arctica can't help but being a standout. In episode 22, Arctica is exposed to a substance called geranium. This causes her to develop another superpowered alter ego named Quanta, the queen of quantum physics. When she changes into Quanta, it's not just her costume that changes. It's a completely different personality. If you didn't know better, you would swear it was another actress. Quanta is neither a heroine or villainous. She's a trickster sort of character. She has the ability to manipulate the probability of all the events around her with the snap of her fingers. For this role, Bridget changed her voice and demeanor so she sounds and acts nothing like Arctica. Quanta is still a relatively new character in the series, so Bridget has no idea where she will end up, but it will no doubt lead to interesting story possibilities. When Bridget started with Heroineburgh, it was just a video series. It became a comic book series in 2019. Her likeness as Arctica was featured on the front cover. This absolutely blew Bridget away. She had no idea this was the plan and considers it a high honor. Although it's an independent comic book series, it is amazingly well designed and executed. I recommend it highly if you're into colorful superhero comics that are genuinely fun and not overdramatic. Heroineburgh has been doing very well in the fiercely competitive comic book industry, and it's had quite a showing. It travels to comic book conventions all throughout the year. Like the shows and comics, the heroines and villainesses you see at these events are rotated so that everyone gets a chance to meet the fans. Bridget, as Arctica or Quanta, has been to a lot of these, so if you go to Comic Cons, there's a good chance you will see her. Bridget gets a big kick out of telling everyone that the comic book and videos are entirely products of Pittsburgh. She loves the city, warts and all, and enjoys the fact that Heroineburgh is set in Pittsburgh and is put together by Pittsburgh natives. For some reason or another, Pittsburgh has never been a real hotspot for superhero adventure stories until Heroineburgh. It's a big, important city, but most superhero sagas take place in New York or LA, fictional cities, or outer space. With Heroineburgh, you are seeing something very different, and the city of Pittsburgh is as much of a character as any of the exciting superpowered females. Although Bridget is still working and very happy with Heroineburgh, she has also continued her other acting endeavors. She likes performing that much and enjoys playing different characters in different types of shows. And she really likes giving audiences something cool or amusing that they will enjoy. In 2019, Bridget did some voice acting for a Pittsburgh heavy metal band called Deathlehem. This was another unique experience for her, as the band is heavily inspired by Dungeons & Dragons, and all their songs lean in that direction. She played a major character on their concept album, Maelstrom of the Emerald Dragon. Bridget was the voice of the evil elf Veldris, and the band's character's fighter. She enjoyed this experience and thinks it turned out very well. She has a very awesome Evil Queen voice. Bridget is just getting started on what is proving to be an already fruitful career. She has the chops to make it in mainstream film or television, but if that doesn't happen, she is still a successful actress. She has talent, enjoys what she does, and is constantly working. Not to mention that she looks great in any outfit. Bridget Yeager is a rising star of a Babe of the Day, Babe of the Day,